Hi everyone, Ashley here and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. Today's video is really fun because it's part of a YouTube hop with a talented group of crafters who are all Lawn Fawn fans. We are each sharing a Lawn Fawn creation with the theme of spring. The link for the next stop on the hop is in the description box below. What's really cool is this hop is also being sponsored by scrapbookpal.com, which is a great place to purchase your Lawn Fawn products and more. So leave a comment for the chance to win $25 shopping spree to their shop. In your comment, make sure to say hi and let me know where you're watching from, since the $25 shopping spree is only open to US and Canadian residents. I was so excited to be asked to be part of this hop. It's actually my first YouTube hop that I've ever done, so this is super fun for me, and I had a lot of fun making the card that you'll see come together in the video. For those of you that are new to my channel, I generally do speed card making videos where I speed up the video of what I'm doing so you can see the entire card come together in around 5 to 10 minutes most of the time. And I usually narrate over top so I can kind of explain what I'm doing as I go along. So I'll start off here by explaining that I used some distress inks to create this beautiful bright background. I used worn lipstick at the top, then peacock feathers in the middle, which is that beautiful bright blue, and then evergreen bow at the bottom. I made sure to blend in sort of a curved shape because I knew I was going to be overlaying it with the Bayou stencil, which is a little bit of a curved shape as well, so I wanted it to kind of match behind that stencil. As I blended the colors together, you can see they blended so nicely, creating a beautiful dark blue between the pink and the teal, which is really lovely. I also splattered the whole background with some white paint, as well as some liquid stardust from Lawn Fawn, which is just a clear, shimmery liquid. And I just dabbed a little bit out of each onto an acrylic block and splattered it onto the background with a paintbrush. When you do that, you can see the beautiful shiny results that you get, which is an effect that I like to do a lot. I really love this splatter effect. Next, like I said, I wanted to have that Bayou effect, so I used a stencil from Lawn Fawn. This is their Scene Builder stencil in Bayou. And I just taped that onto my inked panel, and now I'm inking over it with some weathered wood Distress Oxide ink. And this is just a really nice brown color to kind of make the stems of the Bayou. The cool part about these stencils is that they actually come in a set of two, so this is the second part of the stencil, which shows the leaves, and you can ink them in a different color. So I just chose Chipped Sapphire, which is a really dark blue, because I kind of wanted it to look like a nighttime scene, like almost like the Bayou leaves are glittering in the night sky, so they've got the sort of blue coming off of them. Next, before I moved the stencil off, I took some clear glitter gel, and I'm just spreading it over that leaf stencil with a palette knife. I believe that this gel is a Brutus Monroe variety, and it looks white when you're putting it on, but it dries really nice and clear and shiny. So once that's applied and just smoothed over the whole stencil, I can take the stencil off and then put that background aside to dry. And you'll see when I bring it back, that glitter gel will be dried nice and clear and shimmery. So the next step to make this card is to stamp out the images, and for this card I used a few different Lawn Fawn stamp sets. The first one that I'm laying out here are a number of stamps from the Swan Soirée stamp set, and this is one of the new stamp sets from Lawn Fawn's 2020 spring release. It comes with this really adorable big swan and a few little swans. It actually comes with two big swans and a few little swans. So you can make it like a parent and kids, or just like a little swan family, which is really, really adorable. And then a few little accessory images there as well. I also picked out a few images from the Toadally Awesome stamp set, which is a stamp set by Lawn Fawn that I use a lot. It has some frogs in it and a whole bunch of other sort of Bayou themed scene objects, which I thought would go really well and really complemented this scene really nicely. So these two stamp sets go really well together. And finally, I just added a few clouds and flowers and a little piece of grass from another Lawn Fawn stamp set as well. And by the way, all the stamp sets that I use in my cards are always shown down in the description box below, so if you're ever wondering where a certain stamp or image came from, you can see the name of the stamp set if you just look in the description below the video. I stamped out all of these images with a Copic friendly black ink. Lawn Fawn makes a great one. And now I'm coloring them in with my Copic markers. As I color these images, I'm going to keep the video sped up, and I'm just going to play some music over top so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the coloring. And of course, if you don't want to watch the coloring, you can always skip ahead in the video to see the rest of the card come together. So I'll speak to you in a bit. Okay, so now that all the coloring is done, it's time to stamp out the sentiment. I just took a piece of light blue cardstock and cut it down to the card size, and then cut the top edge with a Hillside border die by Fawn to make that beautiful curved edge. I then stamped the sentiment "I just swan to say" in a nice blue ink to match the card. And on the inside will be the rest of the message. Off camera, I also went ahead and cut out some other pieces for the scene. I took a piece of light blue glitter paper and cut it using a wavy border die from Fawn and glued it down onto the card front. I also glued down that card panel onto a white card base, so the whole thing is ready to go now, in card form. I used some double-sided tape to glue down that sentiment panel onto the front because I find that liquid glue doesn't often stick onto glitter paper very well, so anytime I need to glue anything onto glitter paper, I generally use some double-sided tape. Off camera, I also went ahead and fussy cut all of those images that I colored, and I'm just going ahead and laying them out on my card exactly where I want them, kind of figuring out where they should be on the scene. For all of these images, I'm using a combination of foam squares, glue, and tape to stick them down to the front of the card. So like I said, anything that I think needs to be stuck down to where the glitter paper is, I generally use double-sided tape just to make sure it sticks really well. And for images that I want to be part of a focal point, I use foam squares because that kind of elevates them off of the card and adds a nice layer of dimension. So for all of these little swans, I used foam squares to sort of elevate them off from the front of the card and really make them stand out. And by the way, I also glued that little flower crown onto that mama swan. I just used a little bit of liquid glue for that, and I think that is a really adorable touch. So now I'm just taking all of my other little pieces and sort of arranging them on the card where I think they should go. One really neat trick that I like to use for this step is to place things with my tweezers, so you can see that I'm doing that in a lot of cases. And this just kind of gets your fingers out of the way, so you can kind of see where things are going without having your finger blocking it, and that way it just helps you line up your scene a little bit better. You'll also notice that I don't even use all of the images that I stamped out and colored. This is very common with me. I tend to just stamp out and color anything I think I might need, and then if I don't end up using them on the card, I just put them in a little bin and I save them for another card. And I've actually made entire cards just using those kind of scrap quote-unquote images from cards that didn't use them. So you can actually check out my Instagram profile, which is linked down below, or any of my other videos here on YouTube, and you might come across that card where I just use scraps. So as a final touch to this card, I'm just adding a little bit of embellishment. I lined up a few little sequins around the scene and I'm just gluing them down with some liquid glue. And I just used my tweezers to pick each one up, dab a little bit of glue down, and then stick it down. And finally, I can go in with my clear Wink of Stella glitter brush pen and add a little extra touch of sparkle to some of the images as well. So that is the final card. As I turn it in the light, you can see just how beautifully and gorgeously sparkly it is. If you check out any of my other videos, you'll know I love sparkle and I love glitter, so this card ticks all those boxes for me. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed. Please do feel free to check out some of my other videos. I do a lot of these speed card making videos, which I think are really fun. And definitely feel free to check out my Instagram account, which is linked down below and shows a lot of my other card designs as well. Also, make sure to check out the next video in the hop by clicking the link down in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!